Introducing geometry, calculating angles. Grade 6 today we are going to talk about types of angles, what's the relationship between different kind of angles, such as the first slide. I'm going to show you different kinds of angles connected by each other by a certain relationship. This first one is called complementary angles. Two angles, they are called supplementary. Two angles, supplementary. Two angles, they are called adjacent. And two angles, they are called vertically opposite angles. I'm going to describe each one of these, including angles at a point. First, I'm going to start with complementary angles. What are complementary angles? In this page, in this slide, there's two angles, 30 and 60. If you combine them together, they will add up into 90. So, any two angles add up to each other and stick to each other. They are called complementary angles. So 60 plus 30, they will give us a 90 degree. So when you add these two different angles and the sum equals 90 degrees, a right angle, they are called complementary angles. The second kind, which is the supplementary angles. Okay. Okay, I'm going to keep this aside. Supplementary angles, two angles, the sum of them equals 180. That add up into a straight angle 180 degrees. So in this example, 50 degrees plus 130 degrees, together they add up into 180. So these two angles, they are called supplementary. Adjacent angles are angles that are connected to each other and they are sharing the same point and same one hand of these two angles, no matter what are the sizes of these two angles, as long as they share one hand and they are beside each other sharing the same point here, they are called adjacent angles. The fourth condition, which is vertically opposite angles. That condition happens when two straight lines, they cross each other at one point. Okay, the opposite angles will be equal to each other. So if this one was 120, the other opposite direction, the opposite way, they share the same value. So if this one was 120, the other one will be 120, and this one is vertically opposite, the opposite side. This one is 60 and this one is 60. They are equal to each other. Okay, why are these 120? This is supposed to be a 60. If you brought a paper or a pencil or something to cover up, if you can notice that 160, they are at the same straight line. That means 100 and 120 plus 60, they add up to be a straight angle. So they are called, as I said before, they are called supplementary angles when they add up to 180 degrees. Okay, the same here. If you cover up this line, 120 and 60, they add up into 180. So those are supplementary angles. The same way here, and the same thing and the opposite way. Okay, so vertically opposite angles, then when two straight angles, they cross each other at one point, the opposite angles, they must be equal. Okay, example, just to refresh our memory. Now, those angles, they are supposed to be what? They are supposed to be added to each other, give us 90 degrees, a right angle. So those are complementary angles. What is the value of the missing angle here? Okay, because they add up into 90 degrees. That means to find this missing angle, let's name it x. Okay, so x is going to be 90 degrees take away 68 degrees, which equals regrouping 10, 8. Now 10 take away 8 is 2, 8 take away 6 equals 2. So this x degrees equals 22 degrees because both of them are called complementary angles. Complementary angles, when two angles they are to be sorry, a right angle. Another example. As you see, two straight angles, they cross each other. If you use the paper and cover it up, okay, so this is a straight angle, so 144 plus y degrees, they are going to add up into 180. Okay, so y is going to be equal 180 degrees take away 144 degrees. Okay, 10, 7, 6, 3, there is no need for the 0, so it's 36 degrees. If they ask you in a question to give the reasoning why, because 144 and y, they are called, again, two angles at the same straight angle. They are called, great job, they are called supplementary angles. Okay, next, angles at a point. That's the sum of the angles around one point. They are going to add up into one whole turn. Is going to be one whole turn. Do you remember, guys, the one whole turn for an angle? It's called a full round. So the full round is going to be 360 degrees together. So if you add up these angles together around one point, one joint point, all of these angles, they share one point, they're gonna add up into 360 degrees. Okay, let's move on to some exercises. Okay, in question 13 to 18 on page 183, please take out your textbook and your copybook to take some notes so it can help you doing the homework later. Okay, I'm going to use a smaller pen this time so it can the solution can fit this page. Okay, now in question 13, 14, 15, write down the pair of angles that are supplementary. Again, supplementary, that means they add up to be 180. So in this picture, if you cover this line, you have a straight line. So E and F, they are what? They are supplementary angles. I'm not going to write down the whole word, okay? Here, what are the angles that they are supplementary to each other? Okay, F and E, both of them, they do not add up to 90. They do not add up to 180. So in this case, those F and E, they are called adjacent. N and G, they are adjacent too. In this case, the supplementary, that two angles that they share a straight line. In this case, this one, this spot here, and this spot here. So J and D, they are J and D, they are supplementary angles. Okay, K and M, they are again supplementary angles. Here is a lot of examples, because if you covered this way, D and F, covered this way, D and G, covered this way, G and E, covered this way. F and E, all of them, the pairs that I named them, they are all share one straight angle. So the supplementary angles D and F, D and G, G and E, the last thing E and F. 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of angles. They are supplementary to each other because they share a straight line. 1, 2, the opposite ways, okay? Next, on page number 182, okay, in question, in your book, these questions, they ask you the size of the angle marked with a letter. So, here's the letter, the relationship between D and 60. What is it? Supplementary angles. Supplementary angles, that means they add up to 180. Then D is going to be 180. Take away 60. The answer is going to be 100 degrees, which is the angle D. Angle F is going to be 180. Take away 174. Very easy. 6 degrees. Okay? Okay, guys? So this is the supplementary angles when two angles add up to each other, add up on one straight line to be equals to 180. Next, page 180. And those questions that we are going to solve together as examples, we have to write down the size of the angle marked T without measuring it. So there is no use to, no need to use the protractor because already we know the relationship. When two straight lines they cross each other, they are going to produce vertically opposite angles. Okay, and we have to write down the reasoning for each one. T is going to be, because it's vertically opposite, 150 degrees. Why? Because they are vertically opposite angles. Okay, each and every time I'm going to write down VOA, that means vertically opposite angles. So T on 150 equals 150 because it is vertically opposite angle. Here, T equals 65. Why? You have to write down your reasoning. Vertically opposite angles. This case, T equals the value that is opposite of it, 35 degrees. Why? Vertically opposite angles. Okay, vertically opposite angles. Are you writing down the notes? You can stop the video at each and any time, so you can copy your answers on your copybook, and at the same time, meanwhile, you are practicing how to answer these questions. Okay, on page number 184, as you see, all of the questions went two straight lines crossing each other. In this case, it's only one line. Okay, one straight line and another part of it on the opposite way. So we have to calculate with the letters. Okay, I'm going to separate the working spaces so I can write down the reasoning for each question. Okay, the easiest one is to find D. D, angle D. Okay, angle D is going to be equals 50. Why? Vertically opposite angles. Okay, angle. Okay, always remember to write down the symbol of the angle. Angle F is going to be what? They lie on straight line, so both of them are supplementary angles. So F is going to be 180 degrees. Take away 50 degrees, which equals 130 degrees. Y, supplementary angles. SA, that means supplementary angles. D is done, F is done, E. Now it's time for E. It is vertically opposite to F, so angle E equals angle F, which equals how much? 130 degrees. Why? Vertically opposite angles. Okay? Next. Let's move on. F. What is the value of F, guys? Angle F equals 60. Why? Write down the reason. Can you guess? Vertically opposite angles. Okay. Let's take E. Angle E equals what? It is on a straight angle, so it is supplementary to 60. So E is going to be equal 180 take away 60, which equals 120 degrees. Why? Why? Give me the reason. Supplementary angles. Okay, another way you can just write down supplementary angles. Supplementary angles. F is done. E is done. Now D. Angle D is going to be angle what? Angle E. Why? Because they are vertically opposite angles. Now, angle P, as long as it lies on a straight line, that means angle P equals 180. Why? It's a straight angle. Okay, so what does it make it for a Q and 120? Angle Q, guys, equals 180. Take away 120, which equals 60. Why? Supplementary angles. Okay? Next. Whew. Now, page 185. It's so obvious. Angles at a point. We have to find the missing angle. Okay? So, what is the measurement of the angle M? Angle M is going to be, as we know, this is a full turn around the point. Okay? Angle M is going to be 360. Take away the sum of the other three angles. In this case, 110 plus 110 plus 30. Okay. Do what's in between the brackets first and take everything down as it is. I love to keep the brackets, I don't know why. 110 is 220. 220 take away 30, it is 250. So 360 take away 250, which equals 60, which equals 0.11 degrees. Okay, so angle M equals 110. Okay, question number 2. Again, the same thing that we did for angle M here. So angle N is going to be 360. Take away the sum of the other two angles. 140 plus 160. 360. Take away the sum of these two angles. 100, 300. Which equals angle, because we're talking about angles, guys. Okay, I always forget them. Which equals 60 degrees. Again, angle N.